Good morning, kids. Today I want to continue with last week's topic on copywriting and explain the best way to write copy for a client. This will pertain to catching the reader's eye, important headlines, and snappy copy. Stick around, we'll cover all of that. It has been said by many, and I forget where I first heard the phrase. It might have been Gary Halbert or David Ogilvy, I forget which. Anyway, they said, write like your reader has to pee. The turn of phrase has been used many times since, and some adding their own flair to it. They say they're about to pee their pants, etc. As soon as I read it, I fell in love with the idea. If you can't tell, the phrase means to get to the point. Don't fluff your work with pointless dribble, and don't add adjectives when you don't have to. Just tell it like it is. You want to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. The fine line, so to speak, is that a lot of writers get this message and then write like they have to pee. It is one thing to get to the point, and it is a completely different thing to rush your words. So let's take a moment and break down a winning recipe for a blog post or a review article. The first stop is the headline. In today's age, our readers are there for instant gratification. If they click, and that is a big if, they will want to know the answer right away. Before we get to the answers, we have to make them want to click, though. If you haven't heard of the Upworthy method, where you come up with 25 different article titles, I suggest you look it up. In the meantime, let's get one thing out of the way. Your headline or title should evoke a question to the reader, make a promise, and offer a solution to a pain point. All of that in about 7 words or so. The headline has one main job. That is to get the reader to want to read more, so they click the link. If you figure that most people will be looking at your title on their phones, on a Google search result page, or on Facebook, they're going to be scrolling. You have to make them stop scrolling, and the best method to do this is through a bright, fun image. Don't forget that sex sells, but if your article has nothing to do with bikini-clad women, don't include them in your image. Keep it fun, but relevant. For example, if you're writing an article about dogs, your image can be a beagle puppy in a bowler hat. That's fine. Now we have them stopped in their thumb scrolling, so we have to get their attention with the headline or title. There are no hard and fast rules, but if I were you, I would stick to a title that is 7 to 12 words long. It is long enough to give you some wiggle room, but not so long the reader loses interest. And there are certain words that trigger a response, things like best or new. Another thing to consider is that numbers convert well. If you start your title with a number, make it an odd number. Instead of writing about the 10 best things, write about the 11 best or the 7 best. For some psychological reason, humans click more when odd numbers are involved. Next, your title must identify a pain point that the reader has. A pain point is another way of saying that they have a problem or they have an area that they're struggling with. For example, when it comes to copywriting, you, listening to me right now, may have a problem finding new clients. If I were to write an article about finding new clients, I may state something in the title that will trigger this pain point for you. For example, I could say 7 new methods to secure dream clients you haven't thought about yet. Now, obviously, that title needs a little work, but for something that just came off the top of my head, it'll do. With that headline, I have given you a number. It's odd. To let you know this will be a concise article. I could give you 135 reasons, but while that sounds highly informative, it also sounds quite long. Instant gratification folks won't click on a link they think will be a long read. Next, I've identified your pain point. If you struggle landing big name clients, the headline feels like it's talking directly to you. Now I have started gaining your trust subliminally, which I will further establish in the first paragraph of the text after you click. Finally, I offer the little keyword yet at the end. A lot of writers don't like words like this, but I personally love them. Think about your client for a moment. Who is their ideal reader? They want someone that is engaged in the content, someone that is interested in what they have to say. Your job is to get that potential customer to stop scrolling, click a link, and read the article. It is also your job to present the client as a trustworthy person, someone that is on their side. You want them to be a friend. Simply by saying yet, it puts a little nugget in the back of the reader's head that says, yeah, I'm smart enough that I would have gotten here on my own eventually, but since you already did the hard work for me, let me take a look. Now, if you know anything about me, I love the cerebral assault. In my novels, I love the psychological thrillers. My horror novels are scary because, shit, this could happen to me. I am also known to write in a style that offers my readers a chance to think and contemplate how they would address the situation, and oftentimes the result is scarier than anything else. Now, in copywriting, I am not trying to scare the reader, but the mental gymnastics are the same. If I can identify with you on a subliminal level right from the start, then you are hooked until the end, where the call to action is just dangling there waiting for you to click it. Now I have a reader that turns into a customer and a very happy client. So yeah, I will continue to use words like yet when others won't. So where were we? We stopped the potential customer from scrolling with a nice picture. We enticed them with an excellent headline. They clicked the link to read more. Now our job really begins. When it comes to writing copy, there are some rules. And I use the term rules lightly, of course. In short, though, let's take a look at the list. Your paragraph should be short. No more than 4 visible lines. I'll also throw in that those writers that put 1 sentence per line with a space between each, you fucking annoy me. Paragraphs are your friend. Use them. Otherwise, you just sound choppy and off-putting. Short paragraphs attract attention. They make the text look smaller than it is, and it is easier to read. The words in those sentences, though, needs to resonate. The first time you go overboard, off topic, or don't add anything valuable, they stop reading. There are only 2 reasons you want a potential customer to stop reading your copy. First is that they are so excited they skip ahead to the next call to action so they can become a customer. The second time is when they have reached the end of the copy and there is nothing left to read. If they stop reading for any other reason, you lose. This is where the advice to write like they have to pee is important. Think about your words and paragraphs. Have you expanded on the title? Have you given them all the promised information? Do they have a call to action to act upon? Good. Now go back and read through it all. This time, try to get away. What I mean by trying to get away is to pretend you have something going on. Perhaps the commercial break on the Monday Night Football game is almost over, or dinner is about to burn, or, yes, even pretend that you have to pee really fucking bad. If you miss the kickoff, burn dinner, or piss your pants, your copy wins. Simple as that. Otherwise, you have some work to do. Keep your words concise. Make your paragraphs snappy. Give the information in as few words as possible. Without cutting so much out, you end up with more questions than answers. Finally, identify the pain point, solve the pain point, and offer to do even more with your call to action. Manage to do all of that, and you will quickly earn the rank of elite copywriter. I will leave you with that for now. Don't be afraid to get in touch to learn more. Follow the link in the show notes to get the transcript post. There you can leave a comment, ask questions, or get more information. Until next week, have fun. Write words.